Hi New Zealand, this is Jay from Drive EV in Taupo with a round the lake range test. We are going to take every one of our electric cars around Lake Taupo to see how much range it has, see how efficient it is, and then at the end we're going to charge it up at the fastest available charge for that vehicle, back to 80%, try and simulate some real world driving conditions. So a direct comparison, Model 3, the iD3, it's well put together. It's really quiet and really comfortable. The coarse chip roads here, we're normally getting a lot of road hiss and a lot of road noise through, and it's about 55 decibels when I'm not talking. That's quiet. That's really, really quiet. Probably even some of that comes from the fake cabin noise that they, pedestrian warning system that comes in at low speeds. As I was coming up to these roadworks here, there's a lot of interesting materials inside. You've got lots of different colours so you don't get bored, lots of texture. The thing that most people are a little uncomfortable with when they're buying a Tesla is that the fact that things have changed. We have had people come in and say, I used to really like how the layout was in my Tesla, and then they did an update and the buttons that I used moved. Now the iD3, although it is going to be doing some over-the-air updates, the buttons are not going to move. They might add additional features and they might move some of the deeper menu stuff and bring that to the forefront. They might at some point hopefully change the seat heater menu selection to an on-screen button. It seems to be an obvious choice. But the features such as drive, reverse and B mode is always going to be there. That's the decision that they've made. The basics are always going to stay where you expect them to. You can learn the car at once and it's not likely to change. Also, as a easier transition, again just comparing it to its direct competition of the Model 3, you have got a lovely big screen in the middle and quite a lot of controls there, but you've also got a very traditional, albeit quite futuristic, binnacle right in front of you. So you've got the things that you need to know. You've got your regen, you've got your current speed, you've got the speed that you set cruise control to, and you've got your current range all plonked in front of you. You've also got some much more easy to understand buttons on the steering wheel. There's quite a lot going on, where you've got cruise control and sort of car functions over on the left, and then you've got your stereo and connectivity functions over on the right, with haptic feedback, which is just gorgeous. Hopefully that comes through. The haptic feedback is some kind of motor in the steering wheel, so you can feel it, and tied to an enunciation in the stereo, so you hear it and it feels very very real. Comfort wise, it's more of an SUV. It probably sits maybe closer to the Model Y, but I have not driven one. We don't have those in New Zealand yet, and even Steve doesn't have one of those yet, so I couldn't tell you from my experience. But you've got a little more road clearance, a little more ground clearance. You step up a little bit rather than in my car. Certainly you step and sit down into the car, whereas this one you sort of climb in, which is a bit more accessible for people carrying stuff and people who don't want to fall into their car every time, I think, is the honest answer on that one. But also they've got proper sized tyres. Again, modern cars, they put bigger and bigger wheels on, which look amazing, but then you've got 2 inches of isolation between you and the ground, and that gets old real quick. These are decent side profile tyres and they're very, very comfortable and very quiet. The actual rubber does an awful lot to simply shut the road noise up. Alright, 0 to 100 test again, hopefully with no wheel spin this time. He's down Tiger, that was 101. So this is the part of the drive which we're going to call Jay's Pie Reviews. We stopped at the Z station and I had the kumara and lemongrass gourmet pie, and it was delicious. That's the most important thing you need to know. There's like a whole range of vegetarian and vegan pies there, which I will be sampling very muchly over the next couple of weeks. I thought I'd just pull over next to some attractive scenery, and the most attractive thing that I can find is naturally the ChargeNet fast charger. Terang is a beautiful place, but if you're running low on charge, there is nothing so beautiful as a DC fast charger. A couple of things I really do like about this car. It is supremely comfortable. We've been driving over all kinds of roads, and we've done 65 decibels was as loud as it got, which is impressive, very impressive. What else is great? Cruise control was super easy to start working, that's fabulous. The heated seats are extremely warm. You do have to find them in your menu, that's kind of annoying, but it's not the end of the world. Few people have mentioned that the window switches, you only have 2 switches and then you swap by pressing the button to go to the rear. The amount of times I've pulled up next to something, reached down without looking because I'm focused on something else, and opened the back window like an idiot is unreal. Well, with this, it's quite difficult to do that. What else do we like? There's loads of places to stash stuff. And one more thing that I really like. Feels like a Golf. Bloody love Golfs. It's got a Volkswagen badge on the front, so I'm automatically fairly happy. And it drives like a Volkswagen. It's certainly not Golf GTI, but it's more Golf driver. Because of big tyres and a bit more comfort. Again, it's New Zealand. We don't have long, winding, sweeping, fast roads. We have 100 km/h speed limit roads, most of which are fairly straight with the occasional turn in there. So when you get to something a bit more entertaining, you can enjoy it within the speed limit. You feel like you're pushing it, but you look down at the speedo and you're doing like 10, 20 under. So it's a safe way to enjoy life, I think. Pretty happy with that. I'm going to go home. And now over to Steve, who's going to give it some charge and magically change the colour.
Hi, Steve here from Drive EV. I'm just at the Topor HPC with a iD3 that's got 90% state of charge. So we're going to plug this in and see what we get. This car's just been driven up from Otaki, so the battery is warmish. We don't really know temps and that sort of thing, but it's been used opposed to other tests we usually find when you charge them from, you know, just being dead cold. They don't do anywhere near the figures they do when you're on a road trip. So hopefully this is a pretty realistic road trip. Oops. Charge. Scan that. No, it's that one because I did an iD4 this morning. Okay, so as you can see, it's at 9%. Just see what it starts up at, and then we'll get the rest of the stats from charge now. Oh, look at that. It's the first time I've seen that. It's rated to 100 kilowatt and we're getting 100 kilowatt, 100.8. Nice. Cool. Well, that's pretty exciting stuff. And as you can see, it's got the cool... Oh, I may have broke it. Oh no, there we go. It's got the cool charging LEDs up there. So yeah, it's so it's still at 100. That's pretty cool. So looking forward to seeing the iD4 when we do a similar test tomorrow.
So we got ChargeNet to send us some really good nerd stats on this, and we can see that within half an hour we can go from 10% to back on the road with 80% charge. So that's the story on the iD3.